gathered tonight for Monday, February the 9th. The purpose of the public hearing is to hear input and all the 10th, input on amendments to the District of Hope Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1378, 2016, and the District of Hope Zoning Bylaw number 1324, 2012. They are as follows: District of Hope Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1471, 2019, and District of Hope Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1470, 2019. I have a chairperson's statement to read first. So this public hearing is being convened pursuant to the Community Charter and the Local Government Act. In accordance with the Charter, the time and place of the public hearing was advertised in 2 editions of the Hope Standard newspaper. In accordance with the District of Hope Application Procedure and Public Hearing Information Meeting Procedural Bylaw number 1393 and the Local Government Act, required specifications have been complied with. At this public hearing, any persons who believe that their interest in the subject property is affected by the proposed agenda item may speak or present written submissions to council on this matter. As chairperson, I will read any written briefs from persons unable to attend this public hearing so that they may become part of the record. Those who wish to speak should, when invited to speak, clearly state their name and address for the record. It is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to the matters contained in the bylaws. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making his or her views known. Members of council may ask questions of those making presentations. The main function of council at the public hearing is to listen to the comments of the public, not to debate the merit of the bylaws. Members of council may debate any issue on the bylaws at the time of third or final reading. The order of proceedings will be as follows. The Director of Community Development will briefly describe the matters under consideration and provide a brief explanation of the proposed bylaw. The applicant or agent for the applicant may be invited to make comments. All written submissions will form part of the record of the public hearing. Oral submissions from the public will be heard, and any further written submissions, if any, will be received. The public hearing will be closed after the previous statements. No further submissions, either verbal or written, regarding the proposed bylaw can be made to council following the public hearing. After this public hearing is concluded, the council may, without further notice, give whatever effect it believes proper to the presentations made at this public hearing. So the first, right off the bat, we will go to staff, to the Director of Community Development to get us up to date. Mr. Gill?
Your Worship, we're just going to bring up the map in regards to the development so I can hopefully paint the picture for the public and the council as well. Your Worship, the application that has come before this public hearing involves 2 properties. The first property is 19743 Foster Road, which is this large chunk right here. The approximate size is 17.12 acres, and it's zoned limited use. The second parcel is this sort of long, narrow strip here. It's 19746 Foster Road. It's currently zoned RS1. The limited use portion of the property currently has an existing 9 cabins on the property. The RS1 portion is vacant. The applicant, prior to making application, was sort of told to go through a hazard assessment area since it falls under the Silver Hope Creek flood and erosion hazard development permit. Typically for rezonings, we don't ask for this information. However, because there is a floodway that runs through the property, staff felt it was imminent and sort of we needed to find out what the degree of the hazard was in that area. The results that sort of came after the hazard assessment, the geotech firm or the river hydrologist confirmed that the property had 2 areas. Area A and Area B. Within Area A, we believe that there's about 6 cabins. The river hydrologist basically stated that there could not be further development in this area due to the degree of the hazard and sort of the water courses that run through that portion. Area B would allow for further development limited to flood mitigation works and reaching a compliant flood construction level. The proponent, what their intent is basically to have a site-specific comprehensive development CD7 zone in order to bring the existing cabins and recreational uses to a level of zone compliance. It is the intent of the applicant to preserve their existing way of life and to be able to moderately develop the properties. When we say moderately develop, the proponent is wanting an additional 12 cabins, so the entire site would render about 22 cabins. Secondly, they're also looking at a maximum amount of tiny homes and RVs in combination, a maximum of 10, nothing more than 10. Be it 5 tiny homes, 5 RVs, or like I said, a combination of. Other than that, there is an identified SPIA area for basically the fisheries end of things, and therefore I guess it was the environmentalist, the qualified environmental professional, has indicated that there should be no building in that area as well. Ideally, they can only preserve in Area A. They cannot expand the footprint of the building. It's just the preservation of that footprint of that structure. And then in Area B, like I said, it would be, if there's going to be new construction, it would require flood mitigation works and flood construction along it.
All right, thank you. Is the applicant here?
Yes,
Do you wish to speak?
yes.
Please. Just state your name again for the public record and your address.
My name is Ed Wainwright, 19743 Foster Road. And just a clarification, Jazz, on the number of buildings. There's existing 12, and it's 10 more that it could possibly go in.
Okay.
We just have those numbers turned. I thought that it might be helpful to tell you a little bit about us, if that's appropriate.
Of course.
So we're a company, Silver Creek Holdings, there's 12 shareholders. We have owned the property since 1974, that's 46 years. There's 12 existing cabins, and 8 of them date back to the 30s and 40s. It's a very unique property, and the others were built in the 70s and 80s. 4 of them were built in the 70s and 80s. So, we have a long history with this property. We've owned and cared for it for 46 years. We take considerable pride in maintaining this property in as natural a state as possible, as well as protecting the environment. We have for 20 years had a relationship with DFO, and we have a salmon spawning channel on our property that we care for. We don't plan on anything that will have any sort of a negative impact on our property or on any of the neighboring properties. We, as Jazz said, we had the flood geotech repairing reports done, and the reports were submitted and accepted by the district, and they clearly identified where we can and cannot build and develop. All development will be based on the reports and in full compliance with all bylaws and regulations involved or that are pertinent. There was one question from the public about septic systems, And we realized that we need permits, not from the District of Hope, from the Ministry of Health. And we will be working with professionals in the field to make sure that things are done properly and all rules are followed and all work is done to the best possible standards. So that's it, unless anybody has a question about any of that.
We'll see in a moment. Well, thank you for your presentation. I've only received one written submission. It's from Mr. Raymond Griffith. It's an email. This email is to advise you that I would like to attend the above noted hearing, and if my questions or concerns have not been addressed during the hearing, be given a few minutes to have questions, concerns heard and addressed. My concerns are with the rezoning and where residents are possibly going to be allowed on the site, along with sewage collection, disposable, runoff, seepage, both towards the creek and back towards properties along Silver Hope Road. And that's from Mr. Ray Griffith on Flood Hope Road. That's the only written submission I've received tonight. So now we can move on to oral presentations from the public. Anyone would like to come forward and speak at this time, either in favor or opposed, you're welcome to come to the podium. Second time, anyone would like to come to the podium and speak about this bylaw change? Third and final time. Thank you. I declare the public meeting closed. Thank you for your attendance.